The most interesting vehicles I've seen since I've been in the indoor showroom is actually this 1961 Oldsmobile. Now, this has a very interesting story. This was actually the son of an oil tycoon in Texas that I believe inherited this, and they took it to car shows, and they were just finally, they were done taking it to wherever they wanted to go. So they sold it on consignment or traded in, so now it is available for sale. So this, from what I'm told, this is a very unique vehicle, 1961 Oldsmobile V8 convertible, and it actually has turquoise seats on the interior. And then probably one of my favorite vehicles that I've just sort of discovered is they have this 1949, and this is called the Diamond T. Now, this was actually a Chicago-based trucking company that sold cars during the World War II era. And apparently, this was called the Cadillac of pickup trucks. So, if you also go on their website, there is also proof. Most of these people who trade in these high end vehicles like this, they have pictures, documentation, receipts. They have basically all the receipts, like they say in the sports business, to prove that they did what they did. And honestly, when you see this particular vehicle in person, yeah, there's definitely no question that everything was done. Now, I thought on their website it had wood slats, but apparently it does not. It has like sort of a rubber floor liner here. So let's get a good look peripheral. I mean, I just anything with these big fat step sides, you'd be hard not to fall in love with a truck like this. With, the front and the rear styling, they definitely, that phrase, they don't make them like they used to, has probably never been more true than with this 1949 Diamond T that you see here. And then they've got some other unique vehicles here. So let's see what else we can find. So this is their indoor showroom. If you just saw my last couple videos, those were of the outdoor showroom. I mean, anything from, newer Mustangs like I used to sell when I was a salesman. And then they do have a lot of these older Thunderbirds. Like that one right there, I believe is a 58 because I've done a couple videos on that. And then they have some early 60s Thunderbirds, some more 80s and 70s Corvettes. They have a Seville four-door sedan. They have this sort of little goofy BMW. Now, the thing with these little BMW Roadsters is you're sort of limited who can drive something like this. Now, this is only $5,995. So this, if you look at the 6 pages of cars that they have with 71 vehicles in stock right now, this is actually the least expensive one that they have. And then the most expensive one that they have, they have stuff like this Grand Prix, like this 1967 Grand Prix. Some of these vehicles can get in, easily into the $40,000 or $50,000 price range, and definitely something like this can easily get into that price range. So it really just depends. Do you want a Dodge Viper with an SRT10 engine? Those can obviously get in, even used, can be in the $60,000 to $70,000 price range. Got this 1952 Chevy. Now, a lot of people have said, James, you're reading off a script. I'm like, no, that's my right hand. That's my left hand. So this is all just stuff I read on their website last night. Now, I've done videos on most of these vehicles here. So that's a 1951 Bel Air Deluxe that actually, those used to come with 2 inline sixes. That actually has an upgraded, modified 350 V8. That's actually a 1939 Buick 8. That's actually a straight 8, inline 8 engine. And then this is a Plymouth. This is called a 1951 Plymouth. They really did not name these cars, even though they did have names. They just called them the new Plymouth back in 1951. Now, this actually is a very unique engine. This is what's called a flat 6. So it's an inline 6 flathead. So it's got that gurgly sound like you hear from like a Ford flathead, except this is a Plymouth inline. And these were known to be better riding than most of the vehicles from GM or Ford at the time. The Plymouths from the 40s and early 50s were known to have pretty much best ride, almost like a Cadillac-like ride. So you can really see the length on that Seville here. So please consider subscribing, and I'm glad you got to see sort of the looks of their indoor showroom. Let's take one more look. This is a pretty unique vehicle. So that is a 53 Cadillac Fleetwood. Now, I looked at their website. I want to say this said it had a 5.4 V8 engine here. Now, this is definitely a unique vehicle. Let's see what we're looking at. A Biscayne, a Chevy Biscayne. So this is definitely a newer vehicle that they just took in. And then that is a 67 GTO that's got a 455. Now, one of the most unique things that I've learned since I started doing the videos is I used to mistakenly call Pontiacs big blocks or small blocks. Now, after studying the history of the engines for a while, Chevys and Fords, they do use the big block, small block distinction. But one unique thing about the Pontiacs that I never really realized is they use the same block. I don't know, whether something's like 3 point something liters all the way up to 6.6 liters, those actually use the same block and just the bore and stroke is changed. And that's how you get the different size cubic inches. But actually, like this Pontiac here, the 455 and the 400 come off the same block, whereas on Chevys, the big blocks and small blocks are actually different blocks. So I thought that was very neat. Now, another thing this dealership also sells is they sell newer Corvettes like this. So this is a classic Corvettes and collectibles store, but they also have a brand new Chevy store down the street. So right now, someone is taking a look at this brand new Chevy. I believe that's, like a Stingray, like a C8. And then, like I said, that's a 61 Oldsmobile. That's a 67 Chevelle SS. That would be a 70 Impala with a 350. That is a 63 or 64 Corvette, which I believe has a 289, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I would say probably my pick of the day that I've seen so far would be, I keep forgetting that a Diamond T. I keep wanting to say Dynasty, but yeah, that is a 1949 Diamond T, which I guess this was called the Cadillac of pickup trucks.